Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Smokin Toastin. It's our program that's all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. Guess what? My partner, Ian Barry, it's show number 60. 60. We've done 59 shows before this one, and today
is this like the
show
silver,
number 60.
The silver, it's not an anniversary because it's not
I
yearly.
Know. Yeah,
it's weeks,
no. It's like, unless it's one of those things where
we're over a year.
Like, did you ever date that girl who did the anniversary? Oh, this is the 15th anniversary of that day we did laundry together. And did you ever date that girl? I did.
Oh, yeah,
I dated that girl once. Only once, though. Welcome to Smokin Toastin. It is a fine day to do a little beer sampling, a little tequila sampling, and talk about cigars and all kinds of good things.
I'm ahead of you on the beer. I'm already doing research.
Well, actually, I've already opened one up here. This isn't one of the official ones we're tasting today, but you have to get the palate moving. At least that's what I tell myself.
Just for those of you out there in the audience, just so you know, we don't just stop at the beers that we're featuring on the show.
Oh no. Why would we?
No, I mean, like...
The best part is after we do the show and I go, hey, you want to go get something to drink?
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things to do. On today's show, the 19 types of beer snobs ranked by obnoxiousness.
Which one am I?
It's you're more than one of these, and so am I, by the way. So no, I fall in line with several of these descriptions. So.
I see. I haven't seen this before. You already have a heads up on me.
Yes, well, this is a list that I found on the amazing internet. You can find just about anything out there, including apparently naked pictures. Who knew? But
I thought I had those expunged.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't. You can't just delete. You have to empty your trash can and clear your search history. For God's sake,
Don't judge me.
So many great things going on in the show today. We will be toasting, and I can't remember if we've toasted this guy before, but I ran across an article about him or another article about him, and I just have to. Richard Overton from Austin. We'll be toasting him today. Nice. So we'll tell you about that and why. There are so many things going on. Craft beer had a $67.8 billion economic impact in 2016. $67.8 billion.
That seems good.
Don't let anybody tell you, hey, this craft beer thing is totally over, man.
Right? That
ain't happening. Yeah, it's just a fad. Plus, ultra premium rum is totally on the rise, and the first craft beer has been released specifically brewed, and I'm not making this up because how could I? Specifically brewed for women in menopause.
That's brilliant. I was almost speechless, but I see the wisdom in that.
I was letting it go. Like I was going to see how long it took you actually to react to that.
I'm not entirely. I'm still reacting to that. To be honest with you, I'm not entirely sure what's going
on. We'll be tasting some tequila that was given to me as a birthday gift. My buddy and business partner Pat gave me a bottle of the I always have to pause before I pronounce this because I always want to leave a syllable out. It's the Bandhan Añejo tequila.
You have to say that 3 times.
Every bottle that this tequila is bottled in is hand-blown glass, so every bottle is uniquely, somewhat different, but it's a beautiful bottle, and I won't lie, I've already tasted it. I think you're going to enjoy this tequila, but we'll get to the finer points of tasting it a little bit later.
It sounds like you came out pretty well on your birthday, because I bought you a bottle, too.
Boy, yeah, you did, and that rum, I tell you, there's not a great deal of that rum left that you bought me last week, because, so here's the first thing that happened is we drank a bit of it on the show.
Right.
That was the first thing
we
that
did.
happened.
And I went back for seconds on that one, too.
As did I. And then later that evening, all the kids came over for my, just like a family birthday thing. And I was like, these kids are adult kids, not kids. But I'm like, guys, you got to try this rum that Ian gave me. So then we're all sampling the rum. And pretty soon I actually pulled it out of the bar a couple of days ago, and I was like, I don't have very much of this left.
This bottle was a lot later than it used to
really
be.
Good. But my buddy Pat gave me this tequila as well, so we'll get to that. We'll do an official tasting. And I brought a couple of beers, and you brought a beer as well. I brought in from Salisbury, Maryland, the Evolution. That's the brewing company, Evolution Craft Brewing. Their lot number 3 IPA. Which should be very interesting.
I've never even seen that
It's
before.
from Maryland. Yeah, we're doing our best to try to branch out and get beers from around the country. And, the show, of course, is based in Houston, Texas, so it's easy for us to get Texas beers. And we love reviewing Texas beers, but we don't want to do that exclusively, so we try to reach out. And with that in mind, I have brought us today from Pittston, Pennsylvania. This may be my favorite. This may replace Clown Shoes Brewing as my favorite brewery name.
Roll with it.
Evil Genius Beer Company.
That's awesome.
I love that. The Evil Genius Beer Company, Purple Monkey Dishwasher. That's the name of the beer. It is a chocolate peanut butter porter.
That sounds like a lot going on.
So yes. So
Purple Monkey Dishwasher.
Yeah, we'll see how this fares. And you brought in a beer as well, correct?
I did. I brought in an old favorite of mine, but I don't think we've talked about it on the show. One of my favorite breweries is Founders.
I love the Founders guys. Love them.
Their
love
breakfast. I know I've brought the breakfast stout before,
Yes.
and that's an amazing.
And their
amazing
all-day
beer.
IPA, one of my favorite
All-day IPA.
sessionable
We've
IPAs.
talked about
Yep.
that. I remember that. I don't know if I've ever brought in the Dirty Bastard.
Well, if you have, I bet we liked it, so it'd be worth reviewing it again. Just what I'm saying. You want to show that to the camera? Yeah, I don't. It's the label's very familiar to me, but I don't know if that's because we've had it on the show or.
Well, here's the deal: if we've had it on the show, it's still good, and we're going to talk about it anyway because.
And at show number 60, it would have been a long time ago if we had
and
it. So.
keeping right along the lines of beers that I bring in, it is 8.5%.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, it should be an interesting show for beer. We've got some unusual ones here today, I think. So that should be very, very interesting. So, been quite a week. Ian, my friend, did you smoke anything interesting this week?
I did. We talked. You had an article months ago about Cohiba coming out with a more affordable line.
Yes, they're more
blue.
Discount or budget oriented line, right?
So it was a Cohiba Blue, and I happened to be in a Specs yesterday picking up the Scotch Ale that we're going to have later, the Dirty Bastard, and they happen to have those Cohiba Blues. Now, I hadn't even thought about them since we talked about them that time, but I saw them and I said, hey, I should try that.
So what was the retail price of, did you remember?
I don't remember the full retail. I paid about $8 for the stick.
Okay.
Which is an under $10 Cohiba, which is affordable.
Yeah, because most
for
of
Cohiba standards.
Most of the Red Dot Cohibas are in the 12 to 18
Yeah,
range,
super premium areas. And they're great cigars anyway. So I had a little bit of time. This is like one of my Wednesday rituals now. I had a little bit of time between work and rehearsal, but not enough time to go home and then go to rehearsal. So there's this little bar right by where we rehearse. I go have a couple beers and have a cigar, and this has been pretty nice. So I sat down and enjoyed it. This cigar was interesting. It's a Jamastram wrapper. It just looks like your basic Cohiba, except for the label is blue, so it's beautiful construction. Everything about it was nice. The pre-light smell was very leather and earthy. The pre-light draw was a little tight. I used a punch, like I always do. It was a little tight, but it was not so tight that I decided to clip it instead. It was just a little tight. The initial light was really rich and creamy and a little bit of spice right off the top. Like it was pow right there in your face, kind of in a good way. The first third of this was smooth and creamy with a little bit of campfire and leather, very classic cigar kind of flavors, when you think just your traditional cigar. The second third, it really developed into a solid medium flavor profile. At this point in time, my ash, actually, I went ahead and tipped it because it was still on. So at a third of the cigar, just straight ash.
So you had a third of the cigar before you had ash.
And I tipped it so I didn't just, drop it on myself. So that was pretty impressive, too. It had a real solid ash to it. More campfire flavors, more leather, but it started developing the sweetness in the flavor profile, which was delicious. That sweetness picked up a little bit of spice towards the last third of this cigar. I smoked it down until my fingers were just about burning. Wow. I'm going to give that a solid 7.
Wow, that's
on
great.
My price versus quality.
So this is a Cohiba that sounds
affordable.
like it may be in the neighborhood of being as good as the more expensive Cohiba line, but for a cheaper price.
Not as complex as some of the more expensive Cohiba line, but definitely less price, and definitely the construction quality was right there.
Well, I had a couple of interesting cigars. I will just mention that Adam, who's on the show with us, gave me a Rocky Patel 20th anniversary for my birthday, which I smoked, which was fantastic.
Yum.
And I was going to review that, but I couldn't I couldn't resist reviewing a cigar that I had yesterday. It's the Casada 40th Anniversary Toro Real. And one of the reasons that I wanted to talk about this is because I did something I almost never do, which is I smoked a 65 ring gauge cigar.
That's a
huge, big around
ring
because
gauge.
I'm more of a 45 to 50 guy in terms of what I really like for ring gauge. So this is a very different cigar for me. But I love Casada, so I thought let's see how this goes. It was a San Andreas EMS wrapper, Dominican binder, Dominican and Nicaraguan fillers. There wasn't too much on the pre-light, some mild tobacco aroma, a little bit of cedar, but it lit easily, burned perfectly, and wound up being a medium-bodied cigar, some creaminess. I was expecting it to be full, and it wasn't. It was more medium. Some creaminess, notes of earth, light spice, and that sort of signature Casada cocoa flavor that seems to exist. Now, here's the thing. The cigar was good. But I think I am spoiled to the Oktoberfest line
Those are so
from
good.
Casada because I love those cigars so much. I wanted a little more complexity, especially from this large of a ring gauge. It did, though, I have to say, develop really nicely about midway through. So the complexity did start to come on a little bit. At first, I thought, yeah, this is just not going to be as complex as I want. About midway through, it started to approach what I really was looking for. I've had the Casada 40th Anniversary before, but it was more like a 49 ring gauge. It was more complex than this one was with the huge ring gauge. But I'd say overall, quite good. I think I was just hoping for fantastic. So at $9 price point, I'm just going to give it a 5, price to quality. I feel like I got
Get what you paid for.
pretty much what I paid for. I wasn't disappointed, but I wasn't blown away, which I so often am by Casada cigars. So, all right, beer tasting begins in the next segment. Plus, Richard Overton from Austin. We will salute you. It's Smokin Toastin.
I already missed that guy.
Wow, yeah, I've been listening to a lot of Teddy music this week, and it's just like, wow.
That was
Appreciating
unexpected.
The sort of like the songs that like I've got my 5 or 6 like Teddy favorites, but I'm like really appreciating like that next level, like songs I sort of already know, but that I wouldn't have been the ones I always gravitate towards. It's like, wow.
So speaking of cigar size, funny that you smoked a 60. You know, I love the big cigar sizes. I want people to think I'm a jerk with a cigar before I even light it, you know?
Totally. Well, and I used to really be into larger gauge cigars, and then I just started noticing I was getting more like flavor really out of the slightly smaller ring gauge. So I sort of shifted up, but
I picked up one that's a pyramid shape, by the way. A very strange cigar. I can't remember what it is now. I'll have to take a picture of it and send it to you. But the cigar, it's like a box press, but box pressed into a pyramid. So you know how a box press is usually rectangular square? This is actually pyramid.
Interesting. Wow.
It's very bizarre. I picked it up solely on the fact that it's a weird-looking cigar.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's any
We're
good.
Facebook Living, are we not? Hi, Facebook.
We're all, yeah.
Good thing.
Howdy, y'all.
Good thing I didn't start scratching myself. Okay. So let's taste the IPA first, I guess.
Sure. Do we want to reuse some glasses today?
We can, yeah.
We burned through a lot of glasses.
Yeah, we can.
I need to go buy
These are good
Sam's.
enough. We can rinse them out and reuse them. You know, so
Yeah, I need to go by Sam's and pick up. Remember, we got those kind of short ones that were clear.
yes, I really
Those-
like those. I looked for them, but couldn't find them, so I got these instead.
Man, next time I go by Sam's, I'll see about picking up a couple big packages of them. Chinette.
Oh, you're gonna really enjoy this.
Chinette should sponsor us.
Yes,
That's what should happen. We need to get.
you're gonna really enjoy the 19 Types of Beer Snobs article. It's just
I
so
can't wait.
great.
That's gonna be fun.
so great.
I'm gonna put a little slash next. Like every time I hear one that applies to me, I'm gonna put a little slash there. Maybe you should do that too, so we can compare.
Yeah.
Well, like when I have 2
how many
slashes
did
and you
I-
have 17,
how
I'm
many
like,
did I
wait a
see myself-
second.
How many did I see myself in? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Can I get that pen?
Oh, sorry.
We're going to have a little fun with this. I want to put Beer Snobs. And we're going to put Cruise in. And when I hear one that applies to either one of us, I'm putting a slash. We're going to see what the count is. As per my opinion, of course. I'm just going to put 19 slashes down.
So what do I do with Smokin Toastin is live, right? I just
search Smokin Toastin.
I just share it, right?
Yeah, just hit share and share now public.
Right post or copy link?
Right post. And then you can put something up there if you want.
I'm putting yay.
Look at us.
Okay.
I Facebook. How do you?
All right.
Okay.
Ready when you are, sir.
It was right there. Oh, here it
Is
is.
somebody hiding the little red?
Bobby.
I gave up on that.
Bobby has got it hidden. Okay, so
Are you guys sampling today?
Yeah, sure.
Both of you? Okay, cool.
I have 2 of the peanut butter porter, but I just have 1 of these. So.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, babies, let's rock. Welcome back. It's Smokin Toastin. We're so glad to have you guys listening to the program. My name is Cruz. My partner in crime is Ian Barry. Our program is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars, and we are brought to you by B&B Butchers and Restaurant at 1814 Washington Ave in Houston. We are in the studio today, coming to you live on Facebook Live, and of course, one of the easiest ways to hear the show is on TuneIn. I've been trying to steer everybody towards TuneIn because it's just so easy. You can not only just find it by searching Smokin Toastin, it comes right up, but on TuneIn, and you don't have, they have a premium service, but you don't have to have the premium service to hear the show, so it can be free. And you just favorite it, and then it's right there.
I actually have the premium service, and it's worth every penny.
Oh, I have it too. I love it. I love the audiobooks.
The audiobooks, like tons of audiobooks. There's tons of other stuff going on there. And
some of their music channels are just awesome.
I had this beer right in front of my face there.
Oh, yeah. I put it
if I
there
could position it so it looked like I'm just drinking it while I'm talking on the mic.
Actually,
There we go. How's
I
that?
actually put it there on purpose. So
we just put it right here.
so that's
My
the
mouth
beer.
is just on this beer. Anyway,
the
but I
beer
use
give me
the
samples.
tune in all the time. The audiobooks is worth it, and then like the music is good.
Yeah,
like,
it really is.
All the stations are curated, and whatever style you're looking for, it's right there.
You want like
And you
60s
don't
or
get-
70s or hip hop
you don't
or
get
classic rock,
crappy,
whatever you want.
annoying commercials all the time. Oh, that drives me crazy.
Yeah, so that's a good thing. So anyway, you can hear the show on TuneIn, even if you do not buy the premium service. You can hear the show, and we'd love for you to listen to us there. Actually, we'd like for you to listen to us anywhere.
Yeah,
you can watch us
listen
on
to us
Facebook Live. You can check us out on YouTube. It's all awesome. So, Ian, you just opened a beer that I got on my recent trip to visit one of my dearest friends in the world, Dave Murphy, in Delaware, and this is one that he said, "Oh, you got to try this beer. You're going to love this beer." And he kind of knows what I like. So he calls it Evo. It's from the Evolution Brewing Company. He calls it Evo, but it's officially titled Lot Number 3 India Pale Ale from Evolution Craft Brewing in Salisbury, Maryland, which is not terribly far from where he lives. And I did notice this beer was everywhere in that area when I was up there.
I
Ocean
haven't tried
City.
this, nor have I ever heard of
Yeah.
it. I will tell you right off the bat, it smells delicious. It
Yes.
smells very hoppy traditional IPA, except for there's a very malty smell.
Yes.
like, right on the nose. Even I haven't even tried it yet.
So I'm excited about you tasting this because as we sort of generally know, I'm kind of the IPA guy, but Ian loves malt, and so I'm going to be interested to see if you like the malt profile in this IPA. If
Well,
this
you
makes
know,
it
if
one
you
that
put
you
enough
love to-
malt in an IPA, I just absolutely love it.
well, some of the
It
best
smells
IPAs,
fantastic,
Some of the best
though, I'd
IPAs
say.
have a great malt profile, so it has a tendency to balance the IPA out a little bit. So
This is good.
yeah,
This is good. This reminds me of. It's even maltier than the Two Hearted Ale.
Which is Bell's.
There's a brewery that I tried there. I'm trying to remember what it was called. The brewery in Keller, Keller, Texas was, my buddy always reminds me because he lives not too far. Shannon Brewery Company makes an IPA that is like this. This is so balanced, it's so good, and so drinkable.
So what's interesting to me is you get citrus up front, malt in the middle, and then on the aftertaste, there comes that hop bitterness
little bit
profile.
of floral bitter snap to it, and it's so balanced from front to back.
It
It's
really
such
is
a good IPA right there.
Now, often when
Good job, Evo.
Often when we sample a beer, we'll be trying it for the first time. I can tell you I'm not trying this for the first time because my buddy Dave and I put a number of these away
I can understand
while
that.
I was visiting him.
Even
so.
the aftertaste on this has some maltiness
It's
to it.
really nice,
I really
yes.
enjoy this.
Yeah, really
Tell your
nice.
buddy Dave he needs to send us much more of this.
Well, I tell you, I was excited to get this one home and have you try it because I had a feeling, again, you are the barley wine guy. I'm the guy that leans towards the IPAs. So I'm always excited when I've come across one that I think, I think Ian might really like this IPA.
This is a darn fine IPA right there. I would go
Evolution
with this.
seems to be, how can I say this right, a pretty serious craft brewing company. We sampled an IPA on the show before, another one that I brought back, which is from the High Seas Brewing Company,
Right.
which is also in that area. But they, I don't know how to say this, they almost don't seem to take it as seriously. Like this seems to be the serious craft brewery
This
in that
is
area.
really good.
Yeah, it really is. Really is. So, well, cool. I'm glad you like this, and I'm continuing to enjoy sipping on this. While we do that, we want to do a couple of toasts. We talked about this, we talked about the gentleman from Austin, Richard Overton, and we'll get to him in a moment. But you and I, as both, pretty big music fans, you're a serious musician, a serious music listener, and I think that we both were a little rocked by Tom Petty's passing.
Yes.
I happen to think he's unheralded, but is maybe one of the better songwriters of our era. People think of when you think of rock songwriters from our era, you think of Springsteen and, you think of some of the guys like that. You don't necessarily think Tom Petty, but go back and listen to the songs.
I mean, has the guy ever written a song that's less than fantastic?
That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Even the stuff...
Yeah. Even his album tracks,
baby, even the losers
get lucky sometimes.
Even his B-sides, all his B-sides are so good, so well crafted. He was just so good at it.
And he was never this is one of my favorite things in the music business because he's not a great singer, but for a guy that's not a great singer, he was a great singer.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like he's got that nasally voice. It's not one of those sort of traditional, wow, that guy can sing, but he used what he had so well.
He owned it and he delivered it.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
And again, his songs are so catchy. And what's funny about Tom Petty, too, is across so many genres, there's so many people who like this kind of music, that kind of music, You go talk to, heavy metal kids, they like Tom Petty. You talk to, so many different varieties. Country kids, they like Tom Petty.
Right,
There's
absolutely.
always a Tom Petty song that touches you,
Absolutely.
touches your heart in some way or another.
And you go to his shows, if you've ever seen him live.
I have.
It's not just people like your age and my age.
That's right.
There's teenagers there as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
Really digging and grooving on Tom
Yes.
Petty.
And what's really nice too is all the stuff he plays on the radio, it's all real pop format stuff, and they're so good at it. As a matter of fact, if you watch the documentary with him, his saying is, "Don't bore us, get to the chorus."
Don't bore us, get to the chorus.
you could just hear it, right? But even though all that stuff's pop format, when you went and saw him live, his band had some room to stretch and open up.
Oh yeah, the Heartbreakers.
And I hate to use
fantastic.
this term because it's become such a almost a negative connotation, but they almost during certain songs turned into a jam band kind of thing.
I understand what you mean by that. Yeah, they could mix it up,
right,
for sure.
right,
And
extend parts,
and they
make
were
it
great
fun
players.
and interesting. Yeah,
Great players.
Yeah.
So Tom Petty, here's to you and to all of the great music and joy that you brought us during your lifetime. We even like the Traveling Wilbury stuff.
I actually really like the Traveling Wilbury stuff too.
So, Tom, here's to you. Cheers. And now, before the toasting is done, we got to talk Richard Overton. Richard Overton lives in Austin, Texas, and he's 111 years old. Now,
which is just awesome by itself.
yeah, all by itself, that's awesome. But if you've made it to 111, you may as well go ahead and enjoy your favorite things every day. And that's exactly what Richard Overton, the oldest man in the United States, does. He was born in 1906. and I love this.
That's amazing.
He spends most of his days sitting on his front porch in Austin, Texas, drinking whiskey and smoking cigars. I just love this. See, this is what these are the articles that I send out to everybody who tries to give me a hard time about, oh, you're taking years off your life and blah 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 blah. And moderation. Well, let me tell you about moderation. Let me tell you about Mr. Overton, Richard Overton. He still lives in his home. He still drives. He's also the oldest living World War II veteran. He served from 1940 to 1945 in World War II. And he says, this is a quote, I smoke at least 12 cigars a day on my front porch.
Holy cow.
Don't you just love this man? I love him. And most of my whiskey, he says, is from Tennessee. So there you go. Richard Overton, you are the man. We salute you, sir.
Absolutely. Mr. Overton.
Toast to you, sir. Oh, man. I don't know. I love coming across things like this. It just makes me happy.
Somebody get that man a Bluetooth radio so he can listen to our podcast.
Yes, absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised if he's checked us out. He's got a lot of time on his hands.
Right?
He's just sitting there smoking and toasting. So, it would make a lot of sense. It would work. Oh, man, there's so much going on out there in the world of smokes and drinks, and we will be getting to quite a bit of it, including the first craft beer for women in menopause and the 19 types of beer snobs ranked by obnoxiousness, which I guess we'll get into that in the next segment.
I have a tally sheet already ready for that.
So tell me what you're thinking with your tally sheet.
So what I did is I just did a simple cruise side and Ian side. Mm-hmm. And every one of these 19 things you tell me, I'm going to put a slash next to either my name or your name or both.
If you think we resemble the beer snob.
If I think that resembles us and our snobbery practitionship.
This list
I might have made that word up.
No, I like it if you did. This list came from Thrillist, and I'm going to just say right now, I think you're going to love this list. It's really well written, well done. So it's going to be fun to share. So we'll have that coming up in the next segment. And also, I don't know if you know about this or not, but General Cigar is discontinuing the Torano Exodus cigar.
Really?
Which I really like. That's
Those
a cigar
good.
I guess I don't know whether it's not a big seller or whether they say they're streamlining the Torano line.
The label is a little boring. They
Yes.
could have made it more interesting, but it's a good cigar.
Now, I haven't smoked any of them yet. I just got some Torano Vault cigars. Have you had one of those?
I've seen it. I haven't tried
It's a very
that one yet.
interesting looking, label and stuff. And
Is
generally
that the one that
speaking,
says The Vault?
The Vault. It's
Yeah,
got
yeah,
a
right,
red
right.
part to the label. Generally speaking, these guys always make cigars that kind of deliver and kind of live up. So I'm looking forward to trying that. But I will be out looking at my different places I like to shop to see if there's any Exodus left in stock
Right,
and grab
snap
them.
up a couple just to have 'em.
stockpiling them just a little. So if you're an Exodus fan, grab them before I do. That's all.
That's
I have to say. All right. So coming up next, the 19 types of beer snobs ranked by obnoxiousness. And plus, we'll get into our next beer. And I'm thinking maybe we should go with your Arrogant Bastard next.
Oh, I didn't bring Arrogant Bastard. I brought Dirty Bastard.
You brought Dirty Bastard. Well, we'll get the right bastard in the next segment. It's Smokin' and Toastin'. I think just because of the name, we have to save the Purple Monkey dishwasher for last.
Oh, yeah. Well, of course we did.
Even though I think the Dirty Bastard's a slightly higher alcohol content. But isn't this nice?
Yeah, but being a Scotch Ale, it won't linger too much. Yeah, that's really good. Like Holy Toledo, that's
It
good.
was one of those, I was like,
And if there's something left, I'll
got
be
any
impressed.
more of that, Evo? When I was at Dave. So there's not much left. You take it.
I actually have this Oberon over here, so if there's enough to split, I'll just take one more sip.
Can't wait to try that peanut butter chocolate.
I got two of those, so we'll all be able to try as much of it as we want. So.
That is
I read that on the email. I was like, oh yeah.
that is about as balanced as you can make an IPA.
It
right
really
there.
is.
That is
It's-
so
it's-
good. That's what I want in an IPA.
In an IPA. Fantastic. Yeah, interestingly, so I bought this, also while I was there, I bought like a sampler pack of the High Seas IPAs, one of which we tried. You did not like it.
I
was
kind of
like-
remember
like,
that. I
okay,
almost
yeah.
said something when you
Yep.
when you mentioned it earlier.
But what's interesting is I have tasted, like, as time has gone by, because I don't want to bring too many of the same thing in too many weeks in a row. So I've tasted, because I've got 2 bottles of each. So I was like, let me taste this one. Like, I've decided I don't think I'm going to bring any of the rest of it in. They're just not that well balanced.
It's just not.
And we already did one. We don't
Right.
need to rag on their other 3. But the one we had was I think it was just kind of like the standard IPA, and then there was a double and a triple and a citrus. And I thought, well, I know I'll like the citrus. I did not like it at
Wow.
all. Like, it had such a bitter aftertaste, and the whole point of the citrus is that it should counteract the bitterness in that aftertaste. That's the whole
Right.
point of it being more sessionable. It's not just about lower ABVs. It should be about, so I don't know. Maybe I should have brought it in. We should have talked about it. But
Well,
I was running out of beer, and I needed some to drink. So.
well, every once in a while we have something in here that's not our
Yeah.
favorites. But the nice thing is,
I was even thinking about the Carbach less, because I had bought like a 6-pack of that, and we drank one, the Carbach Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
So I drank a few of those at home. I enjoyed it. Like, it wasn't our favorite in the lineup, but it was pretty good, like, isolated by itself.
I don't think it's bad. I don't find that particular one like
It isn't this.
out of their whole line. I think that's probably one of the weakest beers they ever put out.
Yeah.
Like, as far as just the overall flavor profile, I think it's better than a lot of beers.
I did
but-
have some.
But St. Arnold's too. Just their Oktoberfest is so amazing. Like,
Right.
it's-
And like St. Arnold, I'm really burnt out on their Alyssa IPA.
yeah.
Like I drank a lot of it for a while, and now I just don't want that taste.
Yeah.
Like, I want something else. But Art Car, all day.
Now I'll get the Alyssa all day long. Like, they used to have it over at Ginger Man. They used to have it on the draft keg.
Yeah.
The oak barrel.
Yeah.
Man, Alyssa from an oak barrel is
Well,
amazing.
they make, what's the one they make that's Alyssa and something else combined? We
the Sailing
sampled
Santa.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, that's the Alyssa and the Christmas ale.
That really.
And see,
works.
so St. Arnold, they make a lot of their seasonals are good, but they're super amazing beers to me.
Yeah.
Are the Christmas ale and the Oktoberfest. They're just, and their stout's good too.
My favorite St. Arnold is still Art Car. I love that beer. Love that beer.
Yeah, y'all tried Ambita?
Abita.
Ambita beer?
Abita,
Yeah,
yes.
Abita.
I like
Louisiana?
some of the Abitas, and then some of it they get a little too fruity.
Purple
for me.
Haze, not so much.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Purple Haze.
But Turbo, they do Turbo Dog, right?
Turbo Dog, yeah.
Turbo Dog, good.
Didn't care for the Andy Gator.
Andy Gator, I tried that when I was in Louisiana last time. I was
Yeah.
like, nah.
Yeah, but Turbo Dog is a great
Yeah,
beer.
Turbo Dog's definitely
Yeah,
good.
Turbo Dog is a great beer.
Rabbit hole much.
All right, sorry, we went off. Okay.
19 types of.
Anyway, the reason we ask about Abita is you've got a Facebook guy is asking, Terrence is asking, have you ever tried Abita beer?
Yes, tell Terrence we love the Turbo Dog. Terrence, we love
Terrence,
the Turbo Dog.
We do love the Turbo Dog.
Yeah, some people really like Purple Haze. It's actually very popular.
Yeah.
It just doesn't fit it doesn't match up with my palate as well. So.
I seem to think there's another one that they make that's pretty
Yeah.
good too, and I can't remember what the name of it is.
We will have to do some more Abitas.
Is that? I wonder if that's my buddy Terrence that does the karaoke.
What up, Terrence?
Drum.
All right,
Yes,
we ready?
that's him. He also runs karaoke. He'll be up at Molly's Pub, I believe, Saturday night. There you go.
right.
Shameless plug for you, Terrence.
Ready to rock. Welcome back to Smokin' and Toastin', the program that's all about craft beer, fine spirits, and beer snobs. No, craft beer, fine spirits, and hand rolled cigars.
And
By
beer
the,
snobs.
by the way, this program is sponsored by an outfit that we just absolutely love, and it's so cool when you can totally love your sponsor. You know, when it's not just like, hey, we appreciate these guys for sponsoring, which we do. But when it's a place that even if they weren't a sponsor, don't tell them this, I'd be recommending people to go there anyway. And it's B&B Butchers and Restaurant on Washington Ave, 1814 Washington Ave in Houston, and opening soon, within about the next month, I believe, in Fort Worth, Texas. So really excited to have
Pretty
these
excited
guys
about that.
as a sponsor. They obviously, the steak is just beyond. I really will tell you, every place I've lived, I've had a favorite steakhouse. And some places it's been a Capitol Grill, some places it's been a Palm. In Houston, it's B&B, and I'm really excited.
We were talking about them and their bacon even before I think they were.
Oh, well before they were a
sponsoring us.
sponsor. And, Jeremiah, who's their bar manager, he's such a great guy, so knowledgeable about whiskeys, and such a great guy to have on to talk about whiskey. But we've been talking to Jeremiah about the next time we're there, which will be next month, about doing a rum show. Because he really is starting to get into rum. And I'm like, well, yes, count me in. So we're excited about that. So anyway, thank you very much to B&B. And if you are a listener and you're in the Houston area or soon to be Fort Worth, we recommend them highly.
We had
You will
a
not be
Facebook
disappointed.
question. Someone asked if we tried a Beta, and we kind of talked about it a little bit between. I was trying to remember, there was one more beer that they make that I've had that was
Well,
pretty good. It was
we
the-
mentioned we love the Turbo Dog.
Right, Turbo Dog's fantastic.
Yep.
The Big Easy IPA was the one I
Oh,
couldn't remember.
yes,
yeah.
I've had that, and I love it. Yes, very, very nice.
Also quite good.
Thank you, Facebook listener, dude person. So, all right, Ian.
Knocking my stuff down here.
Ian, I think what we're going to do is we're going to wade into this 19 types of beer snobs.
All right.
And then we will take a break in the middle of it and try our next beer.
At the bottom of my piece of paper here, you can see I have a tally sheet ready.
There he is.
Right,
He's ready
so
to tally up.
every time you say something that I believe applies to either me or you, we get a slash.
Okay,
under our name.
that's fair enough. That's fair enough. This is a great list, by the way. It was originally posted on Thrillist. Ben Robinson and Matt Lynch were the authors of this, so I want to give credit where credit is due. They say as craft beer has grown from a scrappy upstart confined to a few regions into a huge industry with a major presence everywhere, beer snobbery has grown up along with it. However, not all forms of snobbery are created equal. Some are mildly amusing, others are downright infuriating. But beer snobs probably won't openly broadcast themselves as such, the article says. So here's a field guide for dealing with them, ranked by how difficult it is to deal with them, happy drinking. So these are ranked by in order of obnoxiousness. And I'm going to actually read you what these say, because I think these guys wrote a great article. So here we go. Number 19, The Evangelist. Always looking to win a few converts, it says, the evangelist brings a few choice selections and a hefty supply of tasting glasses to any social gathering. What? You weren't planning on drinking a 15% ABV Russian Imperial Stout at your nephew's christening? Just try a little.
Ooh, pick me.
On the downside, the evangelist can be a bit pushy. The upside, free beer.
All right, I put a notch next to both of us.
Yeah,
for that
I think we both get to qualify for that. We're like, that's so good. Like bringing the Russian Imperial Stout to the christening. That is so, I could so see you doing that. You go, well, hey, take a look at what I brought. So, all right, that's number 19. Number 18 is The Sampler. No matter the situation, the article says, the sampler always requests a preview taste at the bar, in order to make an informed decision, a.k.a. find some minute defect with it, and then ask for the beer they plan on ordering all along.
I'm putting a half a mark next to
A half a
myself
mark
on
next
that
to you. Now, I do enjoy when bars will let you sample,
Yeah.
but I would say more often than not, I order the thing that I sample. Unless
Usually
I get
you
it
look
and I
at
just
usually
really
you look
don't
at the
like
beer
it.
and you
Yeah.
don't get a sample. You just order it and try it.
I will say,
I'll
though-
do a sample about half the time, and sometimes it's like that. Sometimes like that's not what I wanted. And I'll go with what I was initially.
So
thinking.
I'm more likely to buy one of the beers that I sampled than I am to buy, like in the grocery store, when you walk by and they're doing the little
Right.
the sampler thing. I'm always like, oh, that's really good. And then I walk away thinking, sucker. But I don't do that with beer for some reason.
So
I'm like,
even
if
in the
it's good,
grocery
I
store,
try it.
I don't sample anything that has to do with bread and a microwave.
Yeah, that's probably smart.
Like those two things together just don't work well.
I like to sample the cheeses. I will admit that. Okay, so you got a half a mark on that one. Number 17, The Life of the Release Party. Tickets, check. Sleeping bag, check. Respect of the other 3 people in line who decided to arrive at 2 p.m. the day before? Check. No one's really sure how the life of the release party affords to spend the bulk of his waking hours either waiting in line for beer or traveling to wait in line for beer, but everyone is sure that that's the most gloriously appointed pretzel necklace they've ever seen.
Neither one of us got a mark for that.
Because neither one of I've actually.
But don't get me wrong, I truly appreciate my friends that are that person.
You know, I've never actually even stood in line for a St. Arnold Divine. I've always thought I might, but I never actually went through with it. Yeah, it's good beer. Number 16, the Barrel Baron.
The Barrel Baron?
If it didn't come out of a bourbon barrel or a brandy barrel or some other oak vessel that previously contained a fine spirit, it barely qualifies as beer. And don't you dare come at the Barrel Baron with that weak oak-aged wood chip nonsense. It's garbage. But please stay and help finish that 19% bomber. The Barrel Baron cannot drink alone for safety reasons.
Okay, I'm not that extreme.
Go ahead and make yourself a mark there.
You're definitely putting a mark on that.
You're so getting a mark on that one. You are so getting a mark. So we'll do number 15, the Trader, and then I want to taste this this Founder. So the Trader, number 15, parlayed a surly darkness and a dark lord into chocolate rain, which he combined with some Hill Farmstead stuff he traded for last summer to land an apple brandy barrel-aged Hunhapu that's damn near impossible to find. Has yet to try any of these beers. Ask about opening that, and the Trader will look at you like you've just casually asked about acquiring one of his kidneys. The Trader needs both kidneys. Well, probably. What do you have to trade? This is the guy who'd rather trade than drink, right?
I know that guy, too.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Not that guy.
I'm not that guy. No, definitely not. But I do know that guy as well. So.
Yeah, chances are if it hits my fridge, it's getting drink.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I am. It makes it actually hard to do the show. If I don't buy, if I'm buying something to sample on the show, I almost have to buy a 6-pack, or else it never makes it in. You know, I love the stores and Specs does this where you can do the mix pack where you can get one of each. That just winds up not working for me. I drink it before I can bring it into the show.
Yeah, so I'll buy those just to try at home. Generally speaking, I can't do that for same exact reasons because I'll be like, hey, that looks interesting, and my wife will get a hold of it too. If there's anything in there that's particularly interesting, she'll be like, hey, we're going to try this tonight.
So speaking of trying things, talk to me about what we're about to taste here, Ian.
Scotch Ale, my friend. I'll take the short one. I've got more in there.
Wow, you're taking the short one.
I've got another bottle in there.
You're the man. All right, so this is Founders, right? It's a Scotch Ale.
This is Founders. Scotch Ale, also known as a wee heavy, this will surprise you. It's malty.
Yeah. Really? Seriously, you?
This is a very malty style. One of the nice things about the Scotch Ale as well is you can turn these around pretty fast. Like, you don't have to lager them for long periods of time. You don't have to age them. Now, they're nice when you do age them. They age pretty well. You don't have to drink them young or anything like that. But this right here is an 8.5% at 50 IBUs. This is a go-to beer for me. I love this beer.
Let me tell you something. This is delicious.
Yeah, it's good.
It is just so tasty on the tongue.
Yeah, it's got about a medium mouthfeel. It's a sweet malt, like you get in a malt shop kind of malt right there in the middle of it. Yeah,
I was going to say it's got a sweetness and almost like a cinnamon flavor on the tongue that shows up nice and early, and then the maltiness is there on the finish. It's really delicious.
They make another one. I don't remember if I brought that on the show, but I probably should. They make another one called Old Curmudgeon, which is an old ale.
You brought that one in. We've had that one on the show.
That before. One is like this one on steroids. Like, this has a medium mouthfeel. The Old Curmudgeon is a little bigger, but this is a good beer. I love this. When I see it, I generally buy it.
This is the Dirty Bastard. I don't know if I'm showing it to the right camera or not. We'll try putting it in front of Ian's face. There we go. Yay! This is a good beer. Well, first of all, I don't know that I've ever had a Founders beer that I didn't think was good. Like, they're one of those breweries that is so consistent with what they make. Like, it doesn't even matter the style. They have a wide variety of styles.
Well, and what's interesting about it too is they're kind of extreme. Like, their breakfast stout is amazing, and then you have they have so many darker varieties of ales, and then they have the all day IPA.
Yes, which is Again, one of my favorite session IPAs. It's just so delicious. That to me is like summer pool party beer. You know what I mean?
It's pretty
Like,
good.
put it in the cooler and let's go. All right, let me see if I can get through 2 more of these in this segment here. We're counting down the 19 types of beer snobs ranked in order of obnoxiousness. We're up to number 14. I feel like Casey Kasem. At number 14, the Sudden True Believer. It says here, the speed with which the Sudden True Believer transformed from liking to spice up the usual rotation of domestics with a Sam Adams on occasion to dividing the day equally between keeping up on Untapped and pricing beer fridges on eBay is kind of adorable, if occasionally alarming. So this is the guy that, he was like not all that serious about craft beer, liked it, not all that serious, and then suddenly he
gets it.
all into it. Yeah,
Right.
So I suppose I get that. Number 13, I don't think I'm that, by the way.
No,
I think I
neither one of us
gradually-
got a mark for that.
Number 13 is Captain Ahab. He almost scored a Vanilla Bean Assassin back in 2014 and has been hunting that white whale ever since. Probably doesn't have a peg leg, but he might. Definitely talks about beer more than friends and family are comfortable
That's
with.
hilarious. That is neither me nor you, but
No.
I've met a few of those.
I know and love that guy. I really do. And by the way, I don't know which camera is live, but this is from the article. There's a picture of the Captain Ahab. Isn't that great? All right, so you're listening to Smokin and Toastin. We're brought to you by the fine folks at B&B Butchers on Washington Ave in Houston. It is show number 60, and we'll be back and taste some tequila, plus 2 more of this beer snob list coming up. Captain Ahab.
The Captain Ahab's pretty awesome. So, hey, so far we're the least obnoxious of the beer snobs.
Oh, yeah, we're not doing too bad. Although I have a feeling we may
We're
pick up a
going
few.
to score a
We
little
may pick up
higher.
a few as we go.
What did we get? What did we get? 5 of them or 6 of them?
Yeah, we've gone through 13, so we have 12.
Okay,
we have,
gotcha.
we have 12 to go.
6 of them. Awesome.
All right. So, do we want to go to tequila, or do we want to do one more beer and do tequila?
No,
on
let's
the
do
last
tequila and then do beer last. I like that. I like the way that finishes. Plus, it gives me a chance to get seconds on tequila if it's really good.
You're a planner.
He is. He's a planner. You have to respect that.
I'm a
about him.
problem solver.
Yeah.
If you got a problem, I'll solve it. Oh, I just did that to you.
Yeah, you did.
You're too
So-
young. You don't know what that is.
So I have
Adam's
this,
just sitting over there going, I don't get the reference at all.
so I have this problem that I talk to my wife about this all the time. I get songs stuck in my head.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's not that bad.
Known
Other
as
times-
the earworm.
Yeah, other times it's horrible. I remember this. There was this one time when I got like the flu back when I lived in New Orleans, and I was
That
sick.
band sucks.
I was
Oh, sorry.
sick for 2 days, and the entire 2 days, worse than the flu itself, was that Bobby Brown, Every Little Step I Take, was stuck in my head, and I couldn't get it to stop. That song includes, by the way, the single worst rap ever committed to record.
Oh,
by Bobby
wait
Brown.
a
It's
second.
horrible.
I'm a big Rush fan, but even the one that Neil Peart does on Roll the
On Roll the
Bones, because
Bones?
that's really bad.
That's pretty bad.
Like, that's awful.
I'd say this may be worse.
As much as I love Rush, I still go like this whenever I hear
This
that.
is a song that rhymes. I really don't care, really don't give a damn. My name is Bobby, and not Uncle
Oh,
Sam.
yeah.
That may be the worst.
That's pretty bad.
So anyway, I was going to tell you that. So the other night we were watching TV. We were watching Ray Donovan, and in the episode we were watching, they turned the radio on in the car, and Helen Reddy Delta Dawn is playing. Right. So we watch the episode. We finish up, getting ready to go to bed. I'm taking Gracie out to the dog park to do her business before we go to bed. And I'm down in the dog park, and Delta Dawn is in my head, and it won't stop. And I'm like, oh, God. But then up the street comes, and this is one of my, like, pet peeves of all time. There's this ice cream truck that's in our area downtown, and it plays Happy Birthday, near, 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 over and over, and it's only like 15 seconds long.
And
then it just keeps repeating.
Imagine how the driver feels.
Well, and that's what I always say, and this is kind of insensitive in light of the whole Vegas thing. But I'm like, this is the guy that's going to snap and like head for the bell tower with the shotgun.
you
right?
have to think he's got headphones on
Oh
with
my
something
God,
better.
he
right?
must. He must.
Yeah, Bobby Brown.
It always
Yeah.
makes me think of the delivery driver in Scrubs. It's always listening to like the heaviest of
Yeah,
all heavy
right.
metals, like.
Or Otto, the bus driver in The Simpsons. So anyway, I'm out there with Gracie in the dog park, and here comes that damn truck. And I'm like, Delta Dawn, what? Trying to keep Delta Dawn. Oh, please don't make me get that.
Don't make me go happy
thing
birthday.
stuck. Oh,
Yeah, earworms, especially when
such-
you only know like one line of the song.
oh, that makes it even worse. Yeah.
You're like, oh, I don't know any other words.
He was such a nice man.
Quiet. Kept to himself.
Yeah.
Kept singing "Happy Birthday." I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about, but yeah, I know that dude. One day, he's just gonna go. All right, I'm ready when you are. Welcome back to Smokin' and Toastin', the program that's all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. We are brought to you by B&B Butchers and Restaurant at 1814 Washington Ave in Houston, soon to be opening in Fort Worth. And I realized, Ian, we're now into the fourth segment of the program, and the show has been startlingly low on sound effects. So just for no reason in particular, there's a little sound effect for you.
This is kind of a sexy bottle.
You kind of enjoyed that. Okay, so this is the tequila that we're going to be trying. It is
enjoy
the
that, by the way.
Abandonado Añejo tequila, and it is a green tinted bottle. And one of the interesting things about these, even when you look at them on the shelf, the bottles sitting next to each other will be slightly different because they're all hand.
Oh, they're all
crafted.
hand blown.
Yeah, all hand blown. So, so they do a really nice job putting these bottles of tequila together. And this is. I don't know that much about the tequila company, but I believe they are based in Texas. So it'll be really interesting to. Does it say right there? Oh, product of Mexico. Well, all tequila is a product of Mexico. So, or I think all tequila is. But anyway, this will be an interesting one to try. I have had a couple of different iterations of this, and as you can tell from looking at the bottle, I've actually had some of this one as well.
Oh, this is imported by Central Texas Spirits Inc. from Bastrop, Texas.
Bastrop. Okay.
Bastrop of all places.
Yes.
That's just slightly west of where I get that amazing gin that we tried.
And I believe they have a speed trap in Bastrop, don't they?
Yes, very
yeah, I
much
believe
so.
they do. Yeah. So beware, Texas travelers. All right, so we're pouring out some premium tequila. This is the Añejo, so it is their probably second from the most aged tequila in their lineup. They do have an extra Añejo, but this is the Añejo, and I got to say,
when Añejo is not enough, extra
right,
Añejo.
you got to go a little extra. You can find the extra. So right off the bat, this smells like tequila.
Yes, it is very traditional tequila smelling.
Yeah, it really does.
Not in a cheap tequila.
No.
You need training wheels kind of way.
No.
By the way, for all of you non-tequila drinkers out there, training wheels are when people go, oh, and I need a salt and a lime.
Right, exactly.
That's
If you need a
wheels.
salt and lime, that's
yeah.
training wheels for tequila.
That's
That's
right.
absolutely right. Well, this
As a
tequila,
matter of fact, if you're drinking a tequila that you need a salt and lime for, you probably shouldn't be drinking that
you need to
tequila.
upgrade your tequila.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Well, tequila really was made for sipping, not for throwing back. And that's one of the things I think a lot of people, it's funny, people will come over and I'll go, hey, I have some really great tequila. Do you want to try it? And, oh, no, I had a really bad experience with tequila one time. Well, first of all, who hasn't? If you
wow.
drink at all, who hasn't? But if you had a bad experience with tequila, I guarantee you were not sipping it. You were throwing it back. So you've just sipped it. So what's
This
your first?
is good. Holy
Isn't it
cow.
nice? Yeah, yeah.
This is like pepper. A lot of pepper in this.
So I will say that the first
And
on the nose, you do like you said. It doesn't seem like a training wheels tequila, but it
very tequila
doesn't
smelling.
give you a hint of the complexity that's about to
this
come.
is so good. Like the first thing that hit my palate was pepper. Mm-hmm. Like like agave and pepper, big time.
Yes.
And then it gets this vanilla
Then you get the
bean
honey and vanilla on
and
the back.
honey
Yep.
that's just amazing. Like, wow. And it finishes this big round thing. And actually, it took me from back when I tried this all the way till now where the heat is just barely coming
Yes.
back. And it's like this super gentle, like, little wash of heat coming back.
So this definitely has more heat than, say, the Skelly, which is always what I use as the
standard now,
world's
right?
most dangerous tequila because it has virtually no like heat penalty when you drink it. But this is comparable in flavor, but definitely has more heat.
Yes. I like this. It's not smooth like you would describe a lot of tequilas. It's smooth, but it's not smooth like you describe a lot of tequilas.
You
Like
know you're
this one-
drinking tequila.
This one,
when you
that
drink
pepper
this.
right up front makes you think, okay, a sip at a time. Like, this
Yes.
is not I want a big mouthful of that.
Right.
Because the flavor's so big anyway, but as sip by sip, I keep wanting to sip this. Like,
I will
just
tell you,
keep
like
wanting to
this,
go more.
this just kills like a Don Julio
What is-
or one of those. Oh, and those guys make some really good tequila, but I just think this is better.
It's so complex. Like the aftertaste on this, I'm just sitting here enjoying in my mouth. It's that vanilla is so big on this.
What's interesting is that you don't need to put lime in this because there is some lime in the flavor. You know,
Man, this is fun. This is a
Well,
fun drink. to
This,
taste.
as I think I said earlier
It's
in the
so
show,
complex.
This is a gift from my friend and business partner, Pat Fant. So, Pat, thank you. You are the man.
Kudos, Pat.
You are the man. Thank you so
We
much.
actually had him on our Cigar 101 show.
Yes, and we had him on talking about pipes too because he's a pipe smoker.
Or Pipes 101. That's what I meant to
Pipes
say. Yeah,
101.
yeah.
Yep. So, all right, we're going to jump back into our types of beer snobs ranked by obnoxiousness, and we're up to number 12, and the countdown continues. Here we are with number 12, the glassware obsessive. And here's what it says. It says, that's a funny joke you're making, pretending like you're about to pour that double IPA into a Pilsner glass. Oh, God, what are you doing? Please stop. Take this tulip before someone sees you. That's the article. So that's the glassware obsessive. It's interesting. One of the first conversations you and I ever had about beer was centered around glassware.
That's why we both got a little notch on that
Did we
one.
get a little notch? Yeah, but I don't think either of us is a glassware obsessive.
Not obsessive, but you like the frosty glass.
I
You
do like. Well, I like
always
my
have
beer
a
cold.
fresh
I like
frosty
my beer
glass,
cold.
and
yeah.
I actually prefer a not frosty glass.
Well, and when you come over to the house, you'll notice I have glasses in the freezer and plenty of others that are not
yeah,
frosty.
and it's good both ways. I don't know why I got like that. I used to like the frosty mug, but at some point in time, I just like the beer. The beer, not the
beer.
frosty
All
glass.
right. So we don't really get a notch on this one.
I'll put a.
A little wiggly line. I don't know what that's going to mean in the
It's
final
going to be
tally.
a question mark.
Number 11 is the fresh head. That's a funny joke you're making, pretending like you're going to drink an 11-day-old IPA that's been shipped across 7 states. Oh, God, what are you doing? Please stop and drink from this crowler I got 20 minutes ago before someone else sees you. As you can see, the authors are having a bit of fun here. But, yeah, the fresh head. I don't think I'm that guy, but I do know that guy.
Yeah,
and I will say,
I'm not the guy.
I don't like stale beer.
I met a guy who told me at one point in time that if you transport your beer, it's almost not worth drinking because just the act of transporting it changes the flavor profile so much. And I got to tell you something. I like beer.
Yeah, I was going to say, all that beer that he transported, I'll drink it. Yeah, I'll volunteer. And, the other thing, we talked about this, though, last week when we were doing the Oktoberfest show. There was one of the beers that we immediately kind of removed from contention because
Yes.
it was in the green glass,
The green
glass bottle, and it
And
was
it
a little
suffered
skunky.
bad.
So
Yeah, it was bad.
I don't like unfresh beer.
Being a
but-
little skunky, by the way, is kind of like being a little dead. All right? You're either there or you're not. There's not, that's a little skunky. I'm sorry. That's just the way I feel about that. That's my beer obnoxiousness.
I'm talking to you, Stella Artois. All right, number 10 is the Brewery Fanboy. All right, number 10. So here's a game. Count the total number of breweries represented on the fanboy or fangirl's person. Hats, shirts, patches, buttons, tattoos, etc. Then strike up a conversation and see how many brewery owners they name drop within the first 3 minutes. Then excuse yourself to go get another beer before you get a headache.
I know so many of those.
So I don't think you qualify there, though.
But at the same time, I do have some friends that actually have breweries.
Yeah.
And I will always advocate their breweries. I will always push for their stuff, because...
But, like, you're not wearing any swag right now.
No. Occasionally, like, you put out a really nice-looking shirt or a nice-looking hat, I will wear that.
Oh, of course.
But your average, Joe Brewery T-shirt is not that interesting.
I had a Budweiser Spuds McKenzie towel once.
That's pretty awesome.
Not because of the Budweiser, but because of Spuds McKenzie.
You do realize Spuds McKenzie was a girl dog, right?
Yes, I do realize that. Spudette. By the way, I don't know if we're going to have time to even cover it on the show, but that just reminded me. Oh, I saw this commercial this week. It was an Anheuser-Busch commercial, and it really pissed me off. It basically took a shot at craft beer fans.
Really?
Basically said, you're idiots. You should be drinking this kind of beer instead. You know what? I'm going to save this for next week, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the audio of the commercial, and we'll actually listen to it and talk about it. But if you I was watching a football game on Sunday, and it came on, and I was like, I felt like they just shot at me. It was crazy, like how big of an insult it was to somebody who likes craft beer. So anyway, we'll get to that. If you've seen this, you know what I'm talking about. If not, make sure you tune in next week. I'll grab the audio for this, and we'll talk about it next week.
I watch so little TV. This is not even a joke. Since the last time I've seen you, I probably actually haven't watched TV.
Well, and so you probably haven't seen this, but I'll find it and I'll bring it in next week. Number 10 was the Brewery Fanboy. So now we're up to number 9, the self-important home brewer will inevitably second-guess the beer he's consuming with talk of hop varieties and bottle conditioning. Has made one decidedly mediocre pale ale via a kit from last Christmas. And I'm going to show, again, the photos in this article are just priceless, and so I'm going to show that one to the camera. There is the home brewer, the homebrew fanboy.
I have to see that one.
Self-important home brewer.
Yes.
That is number 9. We're up to number 8, the Group Thinker. Number 8, the Group Thinker. Hey, this beer's pretty good. I like it. Or, I think I like it. Let me scan a representative sampling of Beer Advocate reviews to make sure I like it. Wow, only an 82? Actually, the finish is a bit off for me. I'm not sure I like it.
You know how many times I've defended beers that I like because of people like they're like,
yes,
I don't know. Like what I read about that beer was, look, I'm drinking this beer. It's actually good, and I'm drinking it right now.
Yes, exactly. Well, Ian, we didn't pick up many check marks on our tally there.
No, I don't think we picked up kind of almost one on that last one.
All right, we got 7 more to go. We'll cover them in the last segment.
Apparently, we're only so obnoxious.
And we also have, in the last segment, the Purple Monkey Dishwasher from Evil Genius Brewing Company. Can't wait to taste this. It's Smokin' Toastin.
I know how to love, and I know who I am. Come on, let me love you a little, and help me understand. Just tell me about your loss.
Small on that anyway, but
I love the aftertaste.
Yeah, the way it just...
it's good. It's really good.
Wonderful.
It's like, yeah.
Like what? All the beers today so far are amazing.
And I don't think you're going to be disappointed in the Purple Monkey.
How did you like the Dirty Bastard, by the way, both of you?
Delicious.
Wasn't that a delicious beer?
I had to drink. I drink it so fast.
Careful,
It
8.5%.
is like the way heavy, though.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's really nice.
The wee heavy.
I love those.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
And the weather's about to change, so I'll be off the bells.
That's when you go into the maltier beers.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, I was in...
Did you check out that picture of the pipe that I...
Yes,
that's
it's
a cool
amazing.
pipe, isn't it?
Well, here's what I really want, though, is I really want that pipe, the pipe that he's smoking, to have a little thing of another guy
A little
smoking the pipe, and like have it go to infinity.
All right.
This guy reminds me of Breaking Bad. What's his name?
Oh yeah, of Walter White on
Walter
Breaking Bad.
White
Yeah.
with the, but beer version.
I went to school with a guy named Walter White, actually.
No way.
Was he good at chemistry?
No, not at all. Not at all.
All right, I have 2 of these, so we can open the second one if you like. I think that one is colder, so we'll start with it.
Purple Monkey Dishwasher. That's fun to say. Purple Monkey
It is
Dishwasher.
Purple Monkey Dishwasher. Rubber baby buggy bumpers.
Would you love to be at the meeting that they came up with that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, at least you know it wasn't one of those like they do in radio where they bring the consultant in. He puts the white paper around the room.
Oh, and they would take the and they hang them up.
First time I sat through that, I wanted to kill myself.
Yeah.
I really did. I thought this is creative thinking.
It's a corporate
Oh my
exercise.
God.
It's a corporate exercise.
Yeah.
Over
That's fine if you're trying to figure out what color to paint the restrooms, but when you're trying to figure out the right summer promotion for your radio station, that's the shittiest way to do it ever. Oh my God. Don't get me started, Clear Channel. Clear Channel
You're a big
sucks.
fan, right?
Oh yeah, I am.
You know,
I'm especially going to be a big fan when the bank calls in their notes.
I still call it Clear Channel.
I do too. I refuse to call them iHeartMedia.
But it's not like I'm not going to do it. It's more like it just always falls into because the base truth in the back of my mind is I don't give a shit what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's so Clear Channel.
I remember in the late 90s, early 2000s, Howard Stern was still on terrestrial radio at that time, and he was bashing Clear Channel like every day. It was the point where I remember going to a party, and I actually mentioned something about I had worked for Clear Channel to someone, and the person actually was a person who did not know anything about radio,
They
right?
do, they-
And she goes, "Isn't that the company that ruined radio?" I swear to God, I'm not making that up.
It became part of the
Yeah.
vernacular of your average Joe Six-Pack on
Yep.
the street. Absolutely. That's
So
when I knew. It was like, oh,
They were getting like the worst reputation ever, and I remember one day, it was when I was in Boston, I drove past one of their billboards that obviously they hadn't sold, and they'd put up this thing. It was like a baby's hand in an adult hand picture, and it said, "Clear Channel cares." And I thought that was a result of one of those boardroom
Yes.
meetings. They have no idea how bad that smells to the average person that drives by and sees it, and how they look at it and go,
If you have to,
Screw
if you
you.
have to tell people
"Yeah,
that you care that
right.
much.
Yeah, that's right.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
I care.
Yeah, no, yeah, really, really, Ian. I
Like
care.
how awkward.
I care. By the way, you're fired.
I care.
Yeah, right.
So
by the way, you're fired. Merry
you've
Christmas.
only been working here for you've only been working here for 20 years with
Yeah.
with 3 paid
Yeah.
days off
and,
every year.
and pension
We're gonna
is
have
at
to lay you
21.
off.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
So
lay
that
you
means
off.
your time is
Yeah,
We're gonna have to lay you off.
but I'm not bitter, not at all.
okay.
I'm happy they fired me all 3 times.
Only one from me. But they gave me a year's severance back.
You're a slow learner, my friend.
3 is my magic number.
Slow learner.
3 is my magic number. When I hit 3, I go, oh,
Well, you found something you were good at.
yeah, right. Wow, this
It really
tequila.
does hurt when I
Can I-
hit my thumb with a hammer.
Can I just tell you how good this tequila is?
I went for seconds.
Wow,
it's
that's
fantastic.
good. Mm. Did you like it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good, good. All right.
Like a little honey
Thank-
kind of thing going on.
Thank you, Pat. All right. We'll jump into this and then maybe pause like when we got 3 left and do the beer and then go back to the
Yeah,
last
let's do
3.
it.
All right, rock on.
Okay, here we go.
Welcome back, my good friends, my beer buddies, my cigar pals. It's nice to have you on the program. It's Smokin Toastin. We're all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. And speaking of fine spirits, can I just echo again how good this tequila was
I went
from the
for
last
seconds.
segment? From the last segment. I'm going to pronounce this for you, and you can find all this in the show notes.
Yes, please say it again,
But
'cause
it's
that's a long name.
It's the Abandonado Añejo Tequila. Abandonado.
You know, it's funny because when you say it, it doesn't sound like that many letters. I just want you to look at
you have to look at that and go.
look at the
yeah,
name.
Yeah, if you are not of Hispanic descent, try pronouncing that right the first time. You won't get it. You won't get it.
Like, this is good.
Yeah. But it is a really amazing tequila. And we will have show notes, by the way. Adam, since he came on board with the show, has done such a great job of organizing all the show notes, getting the links in there. So make sure and look on the YouTube channel and on the posting as well on SoundCloud. And you get the links to the stuff that we talk about, including, by the way, this wonderful article about the 19 types of beer snobs. And just before we get back into it, let me once again mention that we are brought to you by B&B Butchers and Restaurant, 1814 Washington Ave in Houston.
I was going to say, one of the nicest things about having Adam on the show, actually, is that he's taken over so many of those things. So everything that I say that's wrong, I can blame on him.
Yes, that's right. And it's good to have someone that you can actually use as a scapegoat. Yes. Or as former President George Bush referred to him, an escapegoat.
An escapegoat.
An escapegoat, yes. So let's jump into this at number 7. We're doing our list here. Number 7 of the most obnoxious kinds of beer snobs, ranked by obnoxiousness.
I just want to point out that neither one of us have that many.
No,
like,
we're not
I
doing
have
that
2.5.
Yeah.
And a questionable.
And I got 1.5?
You've got 1 and a questionable.
1 and a questionable. All right. Well, we're up to number 7, the Trend Chaser. One summer, it's all about ghosts. The next summer, any IPA that isn't preceded by the words New England is met with audible disdain. Under the phrasing, uses the phrasing, so hot right now. But not in the fun, sort of ironic Mugatu from Zoolander kind of way.
He's so hot right now. I was just waiting to say that, by the way.
So that's your Trend Chaser. Do you see either one of us?
No, we're not trend chasers.
I think we
you
try
like
to
what
stay.
you like. I like
try
what
to
I
stay
like.
aware of the trends, though. So we can talk about them and.
Well,
discuss
it's
them on
funny
the show
some of the things that we like that have become trends. Like I've been a fan of the sour ale for a while.
Very first show we did the Watermelon Ghost. Very first show. Oh no, wasn't the first show. It was the first guest.
Yeah,
first guest.
And I was a fan of it then, and that was before. And now, like this year especially, those goes and sour ales are becoming very popular. So we're ahead of that curve.
No, and we're up to number 6, the Professor. Won't even listen to you unless you're at least taking Cicerone classes. But, oh, Lord, can the professor ever deliver a lecture? There probably won't be slides, but don't rule it out.
I'm sorry, were you talking?
Yes. Oh, you were so not the professor. No, you don't even get a half mark for that. You're not the professor. You're just, because you're very live and let live about beer.
Very much.
You're not snooty about it in that way that you won't talk to me if I'm going, hey, dude, I'm going to have a Michelob Ultra.
No.
Yeah, okay. Number 5, the Music Man. You know how certain people will be really into bands, but then the bands get more popular and more casual music fans start to like the band, and then those people get really pissy and say the band sold out and they never liked the band that much anyway? It's like that, but with breweries.
Yes.
God forbid anyone expand beyond their early nano brewing days in an attempt to be able to afford a trip to the dentist or whatever. So we talk about this a lot on the show.
We do.
Yeah. And I just don't really think that that's us. Really.
Well, there's a certain level of, with bands the same way. That's a good analogy too, because with bands it's the same way. You get so many people that get I think it's a personal thing. Like, this is my band because I discovered them. No one else knows who they are, so that makes me cool. And then when everyone else knows who they are, it's just not cool anymore.
Right.
Or something.
Yeah,
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
I say all that. Remember when Aerosmith rocked?
Oh, well, I was just about to say, the problem with this whole thing is that the bands have to stay good all the way through. I mean, there are bands that make amazing music and then they become really popular, and then you're trying to like their new release, and it's just, I'm looking at you, REM. You know what? I mean, that early REM stuff was legendary. It was so good. I don't know what they did for those last 5 albums. Yeah, well, that one was still all right. But after that, wow.
Well, and like that, Aerosmith rocked so hard that they put out an album called Aerosmith Rocks.
Yeah, well.
And everyone went, okay, you got it, dude.
A lot of music in this show, by the way. Let's have a beer.
Let's do it.
So Ian has just opened, and I'm so excited that I even get to say this on the show. The Evil Genius Beer Company Purple Monkey Dishwasher. It is a chocolate
every one of those syllables
butter porter.
Every one of those syllables applies to this beer, by the way.
Yes.
Say that again. Evil
Genius
Beer Company.
Purple Monkey Dishwasher Chocolate Peanut Butter Porter from Pittston, Pennsylvania.
We're going to have to make a song out of this.
Yeah, and I do have another one of these, by the way, so you can pour generously if you like.
We'll see. We may be breaking into it. I think I poured you a little less generously than the rest of them, so hold on.
So this is going to be interesting. I'm really curious to see what we think about this porter.
It smells like peanut butter.
It does. It smells like a Reese's peanut butter cup, actually. Is what it smells like.
It smells like
to me.
peanut butter and chocolate.
Yeah.
Like it really
Remember
does.
that commercial? You got your chocolate in my peanut butter. And you got your peanut butter in my chocolate. And apparently then you dumped it in my beer. So, Ian, what do you think? I see you've already taken a slurp.
I have. Well, I like to call that research, actually.
Yes.
So it's interesting.
Yeah?
I'm waiting on it to find out how much I actually like it, but
So-
it's interesting. Like,
so
I want
here's-
another sip of it. It's
Well,
not.
I was just about to say, my first reaction to it is, wow, they really went for something, and I really do taste it. Okay, they hit it. Not sure if I'm going to want another. I think I want another sip.
Yeah, so I think what we may be running into is maybe this not so much after tequila.
Well, that's possible.
So a little palate cleansing,
Yeah.
which I'll also call more research.
But boy, does this taste like a peanut butter cup, doesn't it? I mean, this is, where's that bottle? Let's show that to the camera. If you live in the
Just put it
Pennsylvania.
right in front of my face there, right?
Yes, right in front of Ian's face. That's
Right
that's
there.
how I know it's on the camera, is if it's right in front of your face. If you are anywhere in the Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland area, you should be able to find this. You got to at least try it. You got to.
Let me tell you, if you're one of those people that sits around and goes, you know what this beer needs? It needs chocolate and peanut butter.
If you're that guy,
Holy crap, this is the beer for you.
I think that may be number 20 on the Beer Snob list. You know what this beer needs?
So my thought on this beer is I think they hit the mark they were going for. I think it's
Yes.
an interesting beer. It's a good share. I don't know that a whole bottle of it for me, although, it remains to be seen because I still keep sipping it.
Well, that's the thing. So just when you think, okay, this is a great experiment, but I don't know if I would really want to
It
drink
doesn't
a lot
have
of it.
it has a
Then you go
great
back and have
mouthfeel
another- yes.
and it has the right amount of like almost the perfect amount of carbonation.
I will say this. I have had beers that have had plenty of chocolate flavor in them
Yep.
before. This is the first time I've ever actually tasted peanut butter in a beer.
Oh yeah, that's definitely right up front in this one.
All right, I want to get through these last four before we run out of time. The last four Beer Snob categories. We're up to number 4. You have to be careful how you say this. The Master Debater. Here's the text from the article. I tried this beer. It was pretty good. The Master Debater. Get ready to spend the next 5 minutes finding a polite exit while I harangue you about your beer preferences, even though in reality I think that beer's pretty good too. It's the Master Debater. In other words, he always wants to debate you about your beer, even if he kind of agrees with you.
I like to think that I know those people and
Yeah.
I'm not that person.
Yeah, I wouldn't put you in that category.
Because I like beer.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about you and I. We both really enjoy beer.
Even if you're
So-
drinking bad beer, you're still in the right camp. You're drinking beer.
Okay, here we go. Number 3, the one-upper. Oh, you got a good beer? That's great, but the one-upper had one that's better. God, it's so much better. It's tempting to tolerate the one-upper because they'll decline to drink the swill that you brought and instead request everyone drink theirs in order to assert their superiority, but they're so damn smug about it, it somehow makes the beer taste worse, even though it is a good beer. What do you think? The one-upper? Yeah, that beer's good. Try this.
Yeah, I've met those too.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we don't fall under these categories.
We don't seem to be falling into
Hopefully,
too many-
you people out there don't think we fall under these categories.
People are probably like, oh, that's so you.
Right.
Yeah, sorry.
That Ian guy.
Number 2 is the Speculator. This guy definitely works in finance. Definitely got into beer a couple of years after the trend had peaked, but had enough money to buy an enviable cellar in just a few months. Definitely enjoys buying up mass quantities of special releases and selling them later at a profit way more than he actually enjoys drinking the beer. And then I love this last line. Definitely a terrible tipper. No, I don't think that's it. You and I are not beer speculators.
No.
I mean, you can come to my closet and it's got some beer in it, but the only reason that any of that isn't in the fridge is because I'm saving it for the next light beer challenge blind taste test show. So number 1, the Condescender.
Ooh.
Wow, you're drinking that? Indeed, the condescender gleefully looks down on anyone drinking light beer, a formerly craft beer that's recently sold out, or even a craft beer not up to the condescender's exacting standards. When not directly shaming others when it comes to their beer choices, the condescender can be seen engaging in political trolling on strangers' Facebook pages and correcting the grammar of casual acquaintances.
Okay, so I'm going to put myself down for half a mark on that one.
Yeah,
and the reason I'm going to do that is because I have friends and they understand my sense of humor, but I do jack with them when they're drinking bad beer.
So there's your 19 types of beer snobs ranked in order of obnoxiousness. So, in other words, that guy, number one, that's the most obnoxious of the list.
So I made 2 and 2 halves.
Yeah? That's not bad out of 19.
And you made 1.
I made 1. Well, I'm just not that
I am
snobby.
obviously much
You're
snobbier
obviously
about
much
beer than
snobbier than me. But, start talking other things. Sci-fi, I may be a bigger snob than you. So, wow, it's been a fun show. Thank you to everybody. There's so much we didn't get to, so next week, and we'll get to that Anheuser-Busch ad next week, I promise. Thank you for listening to Smokin Toastin. Ran out of time for sampling the Mumford & Sons IPA. We'll get to that next week. Have a great weekend, by the way. Cheers.
The lights